I'm hearing some rumbles that people think EKKO is weak. It's not true at all. Champion's very strong. Just because he isn't in, the top tier of a tier list doesn't mean a champion isn't powerful when used correctly. And obviously one of the best ways to do that is with some of the best builds. Lichbane and Nash's Tooth. Historically, when it comes to EKKO, we like to decide, should I build one or should I build the other? In Season 14, we're like, hey, let's just build both. Now, you could have built both in the past as well, but Nash's has been nerfed a little bit, and instead of Riot realizing, hey man, 100 AP on Nash's, that's a lot, let's nerf it, they then gave 100 AP to Lichbane. And it has movement speed and a sheen build path and a glowing moat, if you like one of those things. I don't think I've ever built one, although I get it. So basically, EKKO now, we can start our Raptors into Krugs into red. That is a cool variation that we can do historically, always trying to get that missing HP on the W, then using your smite up front, but obviously with that comes risks for invades and everything like that. Here we see a Zeri Skarner support and Virkayu showing up. And again, when an enemy jungler shows up right here after a quadrant, that's what's important to do your quadrants quickly. I always tell you, make sure you control the speed with which you finish the red side and the blue side, because if you're super slow on one and really good on another, it doesn't matter, right? It's a game of halves, because now you can show up here quickly, and if you were to take longer, sure, the EKKO might already be in the jungle, so he can't vertical jungle you, but he could counter gank you. So you've got to have that sweet spot of, hey, I'm diving your bottom lane, but it's too late for you to cut in vertical, and it's not quite late enough for you to actually invade me. So that sweet spot is very important. Now, obviously, in this particular case, Virkayu's like, well, that wave ain't no crashed, so I better just go ahead and snack the grump up. The EKKO should have realized this and now can show up. And that's why I don't like these plays from the Virkayu. If you're gonna do it well. But now the EKKO has shown up, good rotation. Obviously, the delay and the crash is a bit of an issue. The EKKO will reposition himself. Fortunately, the Virkayu's not in a bit compromised position, but Skarner steps up and says, what if I almost give you a kill? And obviously, the Virkayu steals away the grump, which, in this situation, if you're gonna invest like this, at least you got something. You burned some summoner spells, and cool. You lost your own... Actually, you saved his flash. Excuse me, my bad. Zeri now flashes. There you go. And that's because Taliyah has very strong champion. So, EKKO says, no. I'm going to go back in my jungle now. That's it. He is one of the best top 3, top 5 champions at carrying losing game states when you absolutely must head to Virkayu.gg. Not only do I have a free jungle improvement resource, I also have a dedicated program with jungle video courses, jungle coaching classes, a jungle VOD library, special weekly content you'll see nowhere else, as well as all of this hosted in a private jungle Discord. And if there is one thing I'm good at, it's making junglers go from low elo to high elo, as seen by the great number of success stories from the end of last season and already the beginning of season 14. So to climb faster than everybody you know and to jungle diff every game you play, head to Virkayu.gg or click the link in the description below. You actually have... I don't think there's a universe where Virkayu would have stayed for blue, so I think we were comfortable enough finishing the wolves here. Yeah, I don't think we needed to worry about that. Anyway, when you have losing lanes and losing game states, EKKO's just so good at being able to turn that game around because of the way he scales like this to the moon. It's outrageous, the synergy between Nash's, Lichbane, and Deathcap. Again, you don't really need to build both, but you should be building both. At the moment, it's the best way to go. Movement speed passive is huge. The on-hit with your E is absolutely nutty. And the raw AP from those two items now, it's ridiculous. Essentially, and obviously DPS, right? Always DPS and burst when fused together. This is beautiful. Now, Virkayu, at this particular stage here, we're getting interesting pathing. I'm not a fan of doing these super delayed dives because the enemy jungler can easily counter gank you. And EKKO is the king of counter ganking. Maybe, along with an Elise, you don't want to be caught in a bad situation with those champions. They're just amazing at showing up and winning the day. Because of this, though, the EKKO delayed his entire quadrant here, and Virkayu knows, okay, look, if I go back to base here, instead of doing my blue side quadrant, why don't I take this Scuttle Crab and then go for the Raptors straight up? Now, obviously, you're seeing the risk-reward ratio with these kinds of plays, but that's the difference in a high elo Korean setting with how they operate. He knows when he can go in and out and actually do things, but look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about with EKKO. The Virkayu knows straight up that I can go to base and take this Scuttle Crab. Nice. I know that the EKKO most likely started on the Raptors, Krugs, Red, because that's what people do. Therefore, I can go into his jungle and snack these away. The thing is, for me, if you don't know it all, it's a riskier play. However, we can go for deep vision, hit this to see if EKKO is already rotating over. He isn't. All right, maybe I can now do the Raptors. I got smite, maybe I can get out. I am a fan of this but more actually just not in high elo. Because in Korea, they will be very, very quick to recognize, okay, look, you hit this, I'm doing this, I'm rotating, and I know I can beat you. If you are a jungler that isn't playing EKKO, and you know that Virkayu beats you one-on-one, then this is not something you can necessarily always enforce. But when the Virkayu goes this aggressive, you're level 4, and you know you beat a 1v1, get that shield there just in case, we'll get that nice EQ in there, and we'll flash auto attack, and then do another one, get the cleanup. You understand what I'm saying here? It's this back and forth of understanding when can I apply pressure, and when can I not apply pressure. And in Korean high elo and a lot of high elo games, they know that limit very well, but also sometimes they find out. They find out. Because the thing is, while he steals this and the respawn of this, which is great, it's too Bel'Veth in nature for me. Virkayu has elements of this, but it's too Bel'Veth in nature for me. Now, the EKKO might be greedy for a little bit on the Grump here, gets hit, Renekton shows up. You know, both junglers really stretching the limits for what they can do, but we can execute here. I love it when they do that. It's such a high-level play. And obviously now it's 5 minutes. We can do the grubs. Next week when they change the grubs, you cannot do this. So what could the Virkayu do to counter the EKKO in this situation? Well, most likely, I even think in this situation, this should have been something maybe we were looking for a little bit sooner. Just because Gnar's Rage Bar wasn't as close, but you have to factor in the champion you're facing, obviously. I still think, right? Like, I still think this is a play we can make, and maybe Renekton doesn't have to blow his ulti, and then he can go ahead and use his ulti subsequently. Just a couple thoughts in my mind. So, if you're in this situation without the grubs, you can dive it, you can take this. Obviously, you can retract around, you can do this, and you can, you know, there's a whole bunch of things we can do. We'll talk about that in a few weeks, once we have that power thing kind of down. And now the EKKO decides to go for the power thing game here. Let's see. Does he do the smart gaming? See, look at the ward here. This is what we're talking about with this ward. See? When you place this ward in the middle, you don't see the EKKO here. But if you place it a little bit further up, you do see it now. And it's very difficult to avoid this vision. And that's always the risk. So yes, we want to have good pathing to avoid vision. But I think as this season develops, you're going to see a lot more people understand that the ward further up in the brush, kind of shitty because you can still circumvent it. But now when they put it down here, you cannot, right? You're hugging the wall. So junglers, we might even get used to seeing Canes and Akkers and so on go around this way through the pit and E in. And that's an interesting development because we could always avoid vision before when it was in the bush, but not on this new map. Now, because you're seen as you go for this, there's a Taliyah rotating. But as always, I like to take a more lane prior approach, right? The Taliyah is level 6, I'm level 4. No Yone, bottom lane's pushed in, even though it's a little bit compromised for the blue team. But we can always have a nice little translation gank. Here, Viego's trailing the play. I would love to actually slow down with this a little bit in the private community. I'm not going to lie to you. This would be interesting to look at, like a diamond game, an emerald game with similar behaviors, and then compare it to this one. Because this is a nice little back and forth, looking at tempo debt, which is my term for kind of, okay, look, someone makes a mistake or someone makes a play, now behind, like, let's say 20 seconds on the map in terms of what I can do. So you think, oh, like, Viego makes a play. I lose my Grump. Nah, there's nothing I can do. But the Viego then goes ahead and uses that time he's gained ahead of the EKKO from the counter jungling and the bottom lane gank to go ahead and try and steal some more camps, because he knows, as a Viego, as we do the dragon here, the Viego knows that if he goes ahead and does this this blue side quadrant, right, that the EKKO will catch up a little bit because he's already done almost a full clear. So it's a very interesting concept. There's a Grump, nice stun, no HP bar, for some reason visual glitch. But yeah, the EKKO's done a solid job here of correcting. He's 2-1-0 now. Nice gank translation from counter jungling, always good. Nautilus goes to the mid lane, and Viego's obviously in the top side here going for this RNG scuttle. So, as always, when you're playing Viegos and Bel'Veths and Graves and yada yadas and Nidleys, it's okay to be aggressive with your counter jungling and your pathing. But you gotta track the enemy jungler, you gotta look at pride, and you gotta know if you can win 1v1. The Viego bit off more than he could chew with this Raptor counter jungling, knowing that the EKKO would be coming to this side again. And then the EKKO, of course, goes for the Raptors, knowing that Taliyah is there. Here we go, Renekton onto the Gnar, and unfortunately, Viego's not yet level 6. He should be, but we'll be fine from this one. Yes, live! He does. Oh, man, you get slowed, and you're like, ugh. It's like those dreams when you can't cross the train tracks, and you're stuck still, and the train's coming. You know what I mean, right? Or people know what I mean, right? Because you're trying to move, but you can't, and eventually you're liberated. You say, thank you, Zeus, and then off you go. That was not meant to be a T1 joke. That was just meant to be a Greek mythology joke, but sure. We full sequences, quadrant. See, the nice thing about what the Virka's done is, from the EKKO's perspective, because EKKO is the strong champion here that we're looking at, is that you're able to punish his own aggressive mistakes, skirt the edges of the game a little bit, make another one yourself, gank the bottom lane, and then because both objectives are down, you're stress-free, right? You're stress-free. You can just full sequence with no concerns. If there's a gank that you need to go for the gank, but otherwise, EKKO, you're coming out of base now. We do have, I like how I make a joke about the glowing motes. Virga gets a kill. I make a joke about the glowing modes and we've just slapped 2 on our inventory. I honestly don't see that much, because usually we have enough gold. So now Virga again is going... Ooh, okay. Yeah. See, if I'm in this situation, I like to take those plants away. I'd rather him know that I'm on blue indirectly than directly know. But I think we're okay in this situation because Virga's not going to stay again. Yona's going all the way in on the Talia. And we'll snack our blue up. So, alternator... some Aether Wisp, couple stacks of Dark Seal, and some glowing modes. Now we know the Virga's gonna be in the side. I have prior on my support robes. Always play around your support robes as EKKO especially. Beautiful W! Thought it might be close, but the Yone went in a little bit too soon. And again, here we look to think, to see, to consider, to maybe go into his red sun jungle and invade. But we decide, nope. Try for the lane gank. Well, the gank on the lane. Because Nautilus and Virga will be coming from base. So let's use this mid lane prior from this gank to take this. Now, in the jungle decision-making video I made on the main channel, right? Just the other day. I do recommend watching that if you want to test your jungle decision-making, thinking about these things in real time. The Diana had a similar play here, but then took it and killed the Talia, the equivalent here, just dove, kills, moves on up, cool, next play. And I said that's a good decision from her part because she knows the champion. That player knew the champion very, very well, knew that they could do this, knew that there was no flash, knew that it could be done. In the EKKO situation here, we don't go for it because we're not fully convinced that we can actually do this dive. There's not enough of a wave. Yone's got no ultimate. It's way too risky. Let's not do that and let's go take the objective instead. So it's 2 different schools of thought, 2 different scenarios. Nice fog of war abuse again. Here, Koreans in the fog of war. Look at this. Guy's sitting just out of fog, waiting for this to go in. His eyes are on this the whole time, waiting for Nara to get those slows and stuns. There we go. Unfortunately, doesn't work out for us, but you know, that's fine. I like the attempt. And Nara does kind of want to go for some plates and a dive here, but as always with Renekton, is that a thing you necessarily want to do? And Virga's down here basically now equal and opposite. I don't know what he's done. We're focusing on the EKKO now probably. I don't know really what the Virga's thinking this game, but he's really compromised. Look at the experience that he has, the deficit. 45 CS to 70. EKKO again, when there's no objectives, did a full sequence, did the good stuff. You're just watching that if you're EKKO. You're looking at this, you're looking at this. You're like, alright, I'll counter juggle you. And that's where EKKO's so potent. You do not need to have 90% KP early. You do not need to have 100% KP early. But if you've got a negative game state, look at this. 0-2-0 top lane, 0-1-0 Yone, 0-2-1 Skana support. It doesn't matter as long as you are the effective. Nice ult there into that. That'll be a free kill for the EKKO. Easy. And now, of course, we can shove for plates. There's Virga still on the bottom side. I would actually go for some snack plates here because Talia sagged down. I know the Virga is there. I know we want to give solo plates, but if we can get 2 or 3, depending on the game, that would be better. So like here, I would have stayed to help him out a little bit, I think. Just to make sure we get the next wave properly, and proper denial, extra plates, really crash and cash, as it were. Can we call it that? Can we make a petition for that, crash and cash? I know laners don't always want it, they're like, but junglers, I mean, come on. I invested in your lane a lot of time, we missed a gank first, Virga's getting shit on the bottom side here, maybe, maybe not. I would like to get more plates and make sure you can do it. Obviously here, he's doing it himself, but I speak for junglers. I do play lane too. But honestly, when I'm top lane, I don't mind. I don't mind when it's like 12, 13 minutes, and I'm probably not going to get more plates anyway, and my jungler helps me shove it out a little bit more. And obviously, the guy's got 1,800 cash money gold, and he's deciding to play with danger here. Virga recognizes that nothing's on the top side, so he doesn't even go there, which I think is a big thing. Virga shows up. Nara's, yeah, you see, what do I know? Nara's just like, gold, I don't need to spend that. And now, of course, we can use our pressure, our huge, huge lead, to go ahead and apply that. Well, thank God. Good. Good, you deserve to die. There we go. What a wild up and down with emotions. Virga's really out of this game. But it's because of those invades. He just compromised himself too much instead of focusing on, hey, I got a small advantage here. Why don't I try and cash that a little bit? No, let me go over-aggressive and let the EKKO get free kills. And then the EKKO's really been a relaxed game state. This is the thing about EKKO. It's relaxed. I know people are like, no, it's not. Yes, it is. EKKO is a very skill-issue champion, I'm sorry to say, because it requires good assassin positioning and good assassin mentality. The best assassins in the game, the players, I mean, not the champions, are extraordinarily patient. They are happy to get their goal. What is it, 13 minutes? 5.6. We need 6,000 gold by 40 minutes. Virkayu 1v9 carry rule, right? If you got that as an assassin, I don't care if you're 0-0-0. I mean, as a laner, if you're doing nothing, it would annoy me. And it's unlikely you're ever going to be 0-0-0 and have that much gold. Unless 6 grubs, a lot of plates, stealing lane farm. Maybe there's a way. But ideally, you still have to have some sort of impact. You still have to have some sort of kills to get that amount of gold. And now, of course, crash this. We'll get a few more plates there for Aziri. That's 4, that's 3. I did think we could have a bit more. Nars hubris, right? Guy just should have based. We ganked his lane. We could have taken more turrets. That's also why I like it, because if you push the next wave, especially a cannon wave, they typically feel a lot better about the fact that the cannon wave was taken, multiple plates were secured, and they can go back to base without fear of being ganked by the enemy jungler. A behavioral thing, right? We're playing poker as well as the theory of the game. It's 2 things in one. Now, this guy goes for the Skull Crab. EKKO at this point is 854 in gold in his pocket with 8. We have what? The Lich Bane, the Sork Shoes, 6 stacks. Still a glowing moat. Interesting one over there. Probably really missed by the way. You know, we weren't really talking about it, but there was no real reason to have 2 of them. Just thought it was funny. Now, Nar is in a decent position, you know, for inting, to be classified as an inter because he's down 2,000 big ones against this. Ooh, we showed there. Yeah, we showed there. You gotta be very cautious with that, but it's a really good look at how. And now, once you burn the ult, you pull out, please. Do not full send that again as an assassin. Know when a spell is burned that you cannot do anything about it and back up. Our Skarner support is being, well, just like ult Skarner made extinct. And now we're gonna lose this Herald because of this. But as the EKKO, we don't care. No stress. No stress. EKKO is how you carry all losing lanes. If you feel like you're totally suffering in your MMR range, and for some reason the proactive style is not working for you, and you need to have a bit more patience and you want to be able to carry goons, then this is what you do. Sequence well, punish the overcommit, counter gank, use good fog of war for decent ganking angles, control your sequencing, snack objectives where you can get them, because trust me, in gold, in diamond, whatever MMR you're in, even master tier, there is always an open objective. And now because the grubs will be at 6 minutes, if you can sync up the 5-minute dragons, should be fine. Even though a lot of people actually don't even do 5 minutes to grubs in most MMRs, like it's chill. You show up at 6 minutes inefficiently. We know he's taking the Herald. I like this. See, this is the economy per minute concept. TB been committed. Ziri's walking into a bit of a doom scenario, so EKKO now has to weigh the options. Can I help out in this situation, or should I push the mid lane? That's what you have to decide. EKKO's now looking at this, and in my opinion, I think I would have just pushed the wave straight up. I don't think any of us, did any of you actually think we were going to get anything here? This is a straight up, they're fucked. I'm going to go push this wave out and disengage. Because you know they're going to push back and take a turret from this. Like, you know mid lane is gone from this, so there's no point holding and dying. But if you push the wave, you might be able to actually hold, who knows? Probably not. Go ahead and take your camps. I like this. Take your camps, control your camps. There you go. Let them push up. They got the Herald. Nothing you can do. Now what we can do is wait for a flanking angle. Once they're overcommitted, perfect assassin EKKO gameplay. This is what people don't do. Now, can we hit a W? Also worth noting that the guy has not leveled up his ultimate. Just so you know. Just so you know. This is quite funny. And I know there is a misleading point. We haven't talked about it because we haven't needed to. He's not been fighting much. But there is a misleading point to hold that at level 5. Just so you can basically... Do we level up ultimate now? No. Just sort of some YouTube challenge. Look, I understand not using a ghost and just putting more points into other basic abilities to ensure you're actually, you know, strong as possible. But I don't really feel like not putting a point in your ultimate is the way to go. Interesting. Okay, so actually he's legitimately just doing the ult thing, where you don't level it up, you hold the points, so you can use it as a mislead, right? But he's doing it twice now. Literally, he's going to put 2 points in as we get to the dragon. I just wanted to see what was going on with that. So, baited me. Your team should not be fighting here this far away from the dragon spawn. If they do, they're all inting anyways. Nothing you can do about it. I mean, like, nothing you can do here. See, now we've got 2 points in our R, and now we can actually go make a play. I would be... It's weird that you don't necessarily use your ult this far into the game, but in losing games, you're not going to press it for fun. I mean, you could. Don't do it, but you could. Right. TB been committed. Jinx is out of position. Here we go. All we need to do is... You got an E, you got a smite, you got a Q, you got an auto attack. She did. And the W is a backup, but that's fine. Huge. Right. 5-1-0. Gold. 7,818 minutes. 6,700 for the Virkayu. He might think I've been doing a good job there, because, like... No, you feasted on my lanes. And jungle's a very difficult position to play when everyone's straight up minting. Now, let's go ahead and snack this dragon. We can posture a little bit. We can posture a little bit. That's fine. All well and good to do this. Just drag it out. Make sure you're secured. There's Virkayu mid lane. Cool. I'm relaxed now. Free stress. No smite. Because there's no smite. Zeri shows up, and now I'm looking at the map. I'm like, right. Yone's pushing this one. Guy has TP. Huge. Nothing up on this side whatsoever other than my red. So there's no reason to fight right now. So I was going to go ahead and get guaranteed experience. Gnar will most likely die over pushing, and then we'll look for a play here if they send 2. So I'm going to pass from the Gromp to the Wolves. I'm going to observe. Nothing. Cool. Back to base Ganashes. Nice. Alrighty. Go over here. We can take this red buff. We can pass towards our team. Pass towards your team. Just like in yesterday's video, we spoke about this. Gwen was pathing away from her team. Not always good. That's why, in theory, I kind of still go for the Krugs red, just so I can end up near my team. Now he still went here, here, and here, and it's zigzaggy. Depends, though. If you want to gank the top lane, then sure, go red Krugs. You can do that. You can do that. Right, Baron spawns. Hit this point to see what's up. See, we're just observing the map at this particular stage. Talia is in base at this point, buying. Don't worry, she's not AFK, I just checked. Sometimes you wonder with these things. You absolutely wonder. But the blue team don't always wait for... This is the big thing. Like, if you're literally just chilling... Oh my god, the W from the EKKO over the wall. Chef's kiss. Beautiful. See, this is where it's potent. This is where the fighting is important. This is where EKKOs that are good make a difference. Over the wall, max range W, huge E, triple stun basically. Just annihilates their bottom lane. Here the Gnar can cut in and we can chase down the Virkayu. Double W, there's the Talia, you see straight out of base now. And I see this a lot with junglers in general, where you will try this engage, right? You will try this engage, and then you'll be like, team. But if your team cannot follow you up, or your team's actually waiting for an item spike or gold or whatever, or they actually are just gone for 30 seconds, just chill a little bit. If you have a huge lead, it's honestly fine. There's the EKKO W again. We can get the shield and the stun, but the DPS with auto attacks, you can see that huge shield. We're going to hit that Q into an E now, keep auto attacking, ult back to time and space. Zeri shows up there, big Seraph shield, and the back line there, Gnar will show up and die again, because that's what he does, because he's a big fat intar. And now Zeri will yeet away. Disgusting, most degenerate design, aside from Gwen, I think, and Yuumi. Gwen is balanced at the moment, but the design is an abomination. Like the same thing with Yuumi and Zeri. They can be balanced, but the design is just like... But, I mean... EKKO's fine. EKKO's fine. The champion's just a little obnoxious, but he's fine. The ult cooldown for me is the biggest issue. That buff that they gave him a while back, it just didn't need to be done. That's interesting. But the champion's strong, guys. He's 7-1-1 in a game where the enemy team had a huge lead. Now they don't. His team is straight up not playing well. Zeri's actually caught up a little bit. And he's the one making the difference in these fights. If he doesn't show up to these flanks, to these positions, his team cannot do anything. He's 3 levels up on the enemy jungler. His gold amount's at 10k already. Huge. Right, back to base. We need some needlessly large rods. Double baby. Sells the Emptive to get them. That's a good choice as well. Especially in these moments, right? Look at this. They're fighting again. They're fighting again. Here's EKKO from front to back now. We don't really want to go front to back. The Zeri gets hooked and killed. You do not want to be front to back when you are an EKKO here. We want this flanking angle as much as possible. They're ult there into the Virkayu. Did you see that? So we know that we saw the Virkayu there go over the wall with the Zeri. So okay, we'll kill you then because I know I can. So Virkayu gets compromised. Great ult by the EKKO. Now we can flank. We can also cut the wave. 44 seconds on the next ultimate proc. Obviously, you don't want to be caught out here, so we're just paying attention. Waiting for the next wave. Yes, force them to cut. And now you see this. Force the split. They can go for the Baron if they want. So here we go. If they go for this Baron and your team are dead and there's nothing you can do, honestly, just go to this and take this. Like if their whole squad, all 4 remaining, go to the Baron right now, sure you can go steal it, but you can also inhib, especially if you have the rest of your team kind of running interference. Or you can go steal it. Those are your 2 decisions. Instead we go for some camps. Taliyah TP's over. EKKO's still in this great flanking position though. This kind of support. So when you guys complain about trolls, you think they complain about trolls and high elo? Because trust me, we see more weird lanes on this channel in high elo than we do on the gameplay channel with the low elo and the mid MMR and the diamonds. Like you always see these kinds of picks all the time, and you have to trust that people know what they're doing. Most of the time, honestly, they're just trying shit out, and it's exhausting sometimes because this guy is probably learning Skarner through the support position, which is not really optimal. TP into EKKO W is a classic combination. Hello, were you TPing for something, sir? Maybe to become a belt? And now, of course, Virkayu shows up. There's Nautilus switching targets onto the Yone. EKKO's on the back line there, goes to the peel, onto the Viego, focuses on the Viego on the right side of your screen here, uses the W, get a big ass shield. Viego's gonna die out of position. Nice. Good target selection, good flanking angle, good peel positioning. he one-shots a Renekton. I mean, it's deserved, he's playing Renekton. Now we can El Baron. Huge. So what you take from this is, when your team are inting, it's still on you to guarantee your own econ, experience plus gold per minute, right? When your team are inting, don't force things, don't try and overly compensate somewhere else, just get what you can. Because EKKO is an assassin, scales with gold, that has a reset button, a huge 2.25 second stun, percentage missing HP, a shield the size of a country, and has a sick-ass skin. And it has great itemization. That's pretty damn simple to remember. I'm gonna build this, and then this, and then this. There you go, done. Now, the thing is, what most people then fail at, even if they do that, is flanking positioning, team fighting, understanding pressure points as an assassin. They go front to back too much, they flank at the wrong times. This EKKO has had exemplary positioning for fights and picks. If he doesn't do this, they lose the game, even if he's done everything else beforehand. So it's all very well to say, I've built the fastest car alive, but if you didn't get your driver's license because you're too busy, you're not going to be able to drive it and it's useless. So always remember that when it comes to executing as an assassin. Always. It's the biggest thing. It's the flanking angles, the patience, the cutting of the waves, the positioning and fog of war. You can see this guy's a really good assassin player because while those team fights show this, it's also his fog of war abuse in the ganking angles, in the early game, the mid game, where you can see he's always looking for a nice little slithery nook and cranny to get in, to make sure those angles can go through, even in what you might call ungankable lanes. For a good assassin player, they're just gankable lanes. And you can see that here. Multiple ganks in a lane that most of you would say, like, I can't gank this. Of course you can. Just got another fog of war gap. Can't gank this mid lane. Of course you can. Just got another fog of war gap. That's it. It sounds simple. It's a very difficult skill. But I've made many videos over the years on how to do that on the main channel. Become invisible, vision pathing, war gaps. It's a big thing that I talk about all the time, even in coaching, just trying to find these gaps. I'm saying, okay, guys, let's look at this pathing. What did you do here? Why did you cut like this? Well, I don't know. Well, now you're seen, right? Now you're compromised. Whereas this EKKO was always, the only time he was seen was because of a great wall by the Taliyah, and the rest of the time was really looking to abuse fog in a beautiful way to get the best angles, because the lanes were not really gankable. So in a losing game state, there we go, nice flank again, you see, again. Beautiful. 14-1-1. Hello? And a little bit of ultimate play with level 11, but I don't necessarily recommend that. It's unlikely you will be in a situation where you don't get to use your ult until level 11. And even then, he didn't really use it. He was just like, well, I might as well level it up at that point because, like, it's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes. And, of course, the rest of our team, Zeri scales, and here we go. Double ult. There you go. Scott is like, see, guys, it works. It works, guys. Guys, I'm 0-7-13. I have positive KDA. I'm good. EKKO. He's damn good.